We have all reached a breaking point. A night where the house feels too small, the arguments too loud, and the air too thin. Ethan Carter reached his point at 10 p.m. on a Tuesday. He went to the coast to find peace, to find a moment of silence away from his crumbling marriage. But the Oregon coast has a memory. At the haunted shore, the tide doesn't just bring in driftwood, it brings in the hungry. Ethan thought he saw a woman in trouble. He thought he was being a hero. He didn't realize that in these waters, one soul can only live when another takes its place. If you ever see someone thrashing in the surf at an abandoned beach, call for help. But whatever you do not go in. This is Oregon shore. I thought she was drowning. Every damn day it's the same thing, Ethan muttered, his boots crunching on the gravel road. He'd stormed out of the house in Cannon Beach after another explosive fight with Sarah. They'd been married a year and the honeymoon phase had felt more like a war zone. He walked until the streetlights faded, replaced by the salt-heavy mist of the Pacific. He found himself on a jagged stretch of coastline. Local calls the Devil's Throat. It was a graveyard of ships and, according to the local dive bars, a graveyard for souls. Ethan sat on a driftwood log watching the distant beam of the Tillamook Rock Lighthouse. The rotating lights swept over the black water every few seconds. Flash, darkness, flash, darkness. It was the only peace he'd felt in months. "Hey kid!" Ethan jumped. An old man in a yellow windbreaker was standing near a beat-up Ford Crown Victoria cab parked on the shoulder. "You shouldn't be out here. The tide's coming in, and this beach, it's got a way of tricking people. Go home to your wife," the cabbie said, his voice gravelly. Ethan scoffed. "Mind your own business, old man. I'm fine." The cabbie sighed, tipped his cap, and drove off. Ethan watched the taillights disappear, then turned back to the ocean. Midnight passed. The fog thickened. Then, during a sweep of the lighthouse beam, Ethan saw it. A shape in the water. "Help! Please! I can't breathe!" A woman screamed tore through the sound of the surf. Ethan didn't hesitate. He stripped off his jacket and plunged into the 50-degree water. "Hang on! I'm coming!" He fought the riptide until he was waist deep. He could see her now, blonde hair, matted with salt, arms flailing just 10 feet away. He reached out his hand. Flash. The lighthouse beam hit them directly. Ethan's heart stopped. The woman wasn't drowning. She was standing perfectly still in the deep water. Her skin was the color of a wet sidewalk, bloated and peeling. Her eyes weren't blue, they were gone, replaced by white, milky cataracts. She was smiling at him with a mouth full of black silt. The light passed. Darkness. Before he could even scream, a pair of ice-cold hands clamped around his ankles with the strength of a vice. He was dragged under instantly. The last thing Ethan Carter saw was the dim, green glow of the water above him before the Pacific filled his lungs. The next morning, a group of hikers found him. No struggle, no wounds. Just a man who had walked into the sea. The same cab driver stood at the edge of the police tape, watching them load the body back. A young reporter approached him, looking for a quote. "Just another suicide?" she asked. "No," the cabbie whispered. "It's a trade. That woman had been waiting out there since 1994. She finally found someone to take her shift. Now he'll wait. He'll wait until some other poor kid has a fight with his wife and comes down here looking for peace, and Ethan will give it to him under the waves." The police called it a tragic accident. Sarah moved back to the city, leaving Ethan's memory behind in that small coastal town. But if you visit the Devil's Throat on a foggy night, wait for the lighthouse beam to pass. Some say they see a man in a soaked flannel shirt standing just offshore, waving for help. He looks so real, so desperate. But remember Ethan's story. If you go in to save him, you are just giving him exactly what he wants, a way out. Have you ever seen something in the water that didn't belong? Or felt a hand grab your foot in the deep? Tell me your stories in the comments. I'm hearting the ones that give me the most chills. Don't forget to like and subscribe to join our community of storytellers. Stay on the dry land. Everyone, stay safe.